Husky hockey is back. The Huskies look to take on the University of Regina in an exhibition game this weekend to get season underway. Welcome to the St. Cloud State Husky Hockey Weekend Preview. I'm Megan Hedstrom. Alongside me, Mick Hatton from the St. Cloud Times. Mick, I know one of the biggest question marks on the fans' mind is who is going to be in net now that Charlie Lindgren left?
That is a big question for St. Cloud State because Charlie played so much, each of the last two seasons. It's going to be one of three guys. I mean, it's either going to be Jeff Smith, a sophomore, who played a couple of seasons ago, a little bit as a backup at UMass Lowell, then went back, played junior hockey last season in the BCHL. Zach Driscoll, who's from Apple Valley, also played in the BCHL last season for the Penticton Bees. Or it's going to be David Zevnik, who was a walk-on last season, who didn't see any time but practiced with the team all last season. So it's going to be one of those three guys. There's going to be a lot of competition, I think, in the early going.
Let's talk about new talent. The Huskies have recruited some elite freshmen, including the Paling brothers, Nick and Jack, along with defenseman Dennis Chalowski. What are these freshmen going to offer up for the Huskies this season?
Right. The Palings, there's actually three Palings, with Ryan, their younger brother, who's kind of bypassing his senior year of high school to also be here. But Nick's a little bit dinged up right now. He's coming off of a knee surgery, but it sounds like he's going to be back before the end of October. Jack will be in the lineup. Jack and Ryan will both be in the lineup here as we get started. Ryan has played a little bit for the U.S. national team, under 18 team in a tournament in the Czech Republic during the off season. Jake Wallen's another guy from White Bear Lake, who's a forward, who's a former All-State player that's also a freshman this season. Dennis Chalowski, first-round draft pick, the St. Cloud State's first-round draft pick on defense. Jack Ashan was the USHL Defenseman of the Year last year for Cedar Rapids. So they've got a lot of talent coming in and some names that people will recognize. Ashan's also from Burnsville, so there's a lot of Minnesota kids in this group.
Switching from some new talent to some more veteran players, the Huskies have named Jimmy Schultz, Nathan Widman, and Ben Storm as their captains for the season. What kind of leadership do those guys bring to the ice?
Well, it's a little bit of a question mark. Widman was an alternate captain also last season, so he's a little bit more of a known commodity in terms of how he's going to lead. He's a guy that plays hard, every single shift it seems like out there, and just a guy that doesn't have a lot of quit in him. So I mean, guys like that have a tendency to have people draw them to him. Jimmy Schultz is a guy who's been a captain everywhere he's been. I remember when he was recruited out of Minnetonka High School, his high school coach said he's going to wear a letter here, and here we are his sophomore year already being one of the captains. Ben Storm's a little bit more of a quiet guy, but he is a great big presence. I mean, at 6'7" and 230. Ben's known as probably the hardest worker on the team. So that's probably how those three guys are going to lead. Jimmy is probably going to be maybe the more vocal possibly out of the three, but the other two guys are definitely lead by example kind of guys.
So with Morley and Casilla gone now, the Huskies are faced with losing their top two centers. Who's going to step up and fill those positions? Yeah,
that's a very good question, because if you look over the last handful of seasons here, that's where St. Cloud State has been really strong, has been at center. Jed Peterson played some center, and wing last season. I think he's going to start the season at center, and they're probably going to keep him there all season long. Blake Winicky moved over to center last season, and they really liked what he was able to do and the improvement he showed during the course of last season. Ryan Paling is going to play center as a 17-year-old, but really top-end talent, and there's some already talk that he's going to be a first-round draft pick. And then the other center position, I think that one's going to be a little bit more of a revolving door a little bit until they kind of figure out some good combinations. I think Daniel Tedesco, a senior, and Ben Storm, another senior. Those two guys, I think, are going to kind of battle at first to see who's going to play at center, but we'll see. I mean, Coach Motzko is known for a lot of things, and one of which is kind of juggling the lineup until he finds what he likes.
So the University of Regina already has 6 games under their belt, chalking up 4 losses and 2 ties. The Cougars are also looking to take on Minnesota State on Saturday. What can fans expect from the Cougars as they face off with the Huskies on Sunday?
Well, as you mentioned, I mean, the interesting thing, I guess, with all these exhibition games, for the college teams, they are coming in, first game typically of the season, and so there's a lot of rust, I think, and a lot of there might be a little bit of sloppy play and stuff because guys have got a lot of nerves, particularly the younger guys. It's a big freshman class. Until all that kind of gets settled in, I don't think, maybe you'll see the cleanest game. But the Canadian teams have a tendency to also play physical, so it'll be interesting to see how St. Cloud handles that.
Puck drop is set for 7 p.m. on Sunday. You can catch the game brought to you by Husky Productions on Charter Channel 823 or Comcast Channel 999. Or you could even listen to the game on 96.7 The Rev. Tickets for this weekend's game are still available online, along with all tickets for St. Cloud State events at scsutickets.com. Thanks, Nick.
Thank you.